This video is sponsored by Fantasy Football Hub. Improve your FPL game by getting access to extensive Opta data, fixture difficulty trackers, comparison tools, and comprehensive articles from the best FPL managers. Not to mention the members-only league with a £5,000 prize pool. I'll leave a link in the description box below, and you can use the code FPLTV for a 10% discount on membership. Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive. Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. Before moving on to Game Week 4, let's look at how my team lined up on the Game Week 3 wildcard and see how they performed. During Friday Night Football, it was a perfect start to the game week, with both of my Aston Villa players returning points against Everton. In my last video, I discussed opting for an expensive goalkeeper like Ederson in my side, but decided in the end to stick with Heaton, and fortunately that ended up being a decent decision for now. The reason I was keen to own Ederson was because, unlike Zinchenko, it would give me Man City defensive coverage without the concern of rotation over the long term. However, by opting for a budget goalkeeper like Heaton, it allowed me instead to buy Aymeric Laporte, who also offers that security of starts without locking away lots of my funds in goal. Man City may not have kept a clean sheet away to Bournemouth, but I do like the look of their next 8 fixtures and I'm expecting quite a few shutouts in these. As appealing as Zinchenko is at 5.5 million, the last thing I wanted was City to have a nice looking home fixture and then have him get rotated and miss the possibility of a clean sheet. So for now, I've invested the extra million in Laporte just to save me that headache. It was also a decent start for De Bruyne in my side, who bagged an assist and very nearly got himself a goal. Both him and Sterling delivered points, and this Man City triple up should serve me well over the next few game weeks. In the early kickoff on Saturday morning, things went from good to great for the wildcard team, with new signing Pukki bagging 11 points at home to Chelsea and continuing his exceptional start to the season. Unfortunately though, this was as good as it got for the wildcard squad, and from the 3 PM kickoffs onwards, it ended up turning into another disaster game week for me. Firstly, there were 2 0-point returns in defence, with Lundstram quite literally going from hero to 0, and the heavily owned Wan-Bissaka conceded 2 goals at home to Palace. Later in the game week, it also saw Sadio Mane put in a very quiet performance against Arsenal, and even more painfully was the fact that his teammate Mo Salah heavily punished me. It was never an ideal situation to drop Salah for Mane, and penalties is definitely one of the key reasons why. However, I was keen to free up that extra million to accommodate some other big hitters in my squad, and hoped that Mane could cover him for now. This was the first game week in a long time that I haven't owned the Egyptian King, and it was certainly not a fun experience. The killer blow of the game week though was in the final game, because even though it hadn't yet been a great game week for me, I still had my captain to play, and with Sir Harold starting at home to a struggling Newcastle, well, it's safe to say I was expecting big things. Painfully, what was forecast to be a hurricane on Sunday ended up being just a small bit of drizzle, and the England striker blanked, which brought back nightmares of his shocker against Cardiff last season. What was really damaging wasn't only the fact that he blanked, but also that the 4 other most popular captain choices all delivered, with Salah, Aguero, Aubameyang and Sterling all returning points. Disaster. It's easy now to regret my decision to accommodate Kane, but I'll give him another week in the North London derby and see if he can redeem himself there. Lastly for Game Week 3, I wanted to include Luca Digne in the squad, but having been on a wild card, I tried to be clever and bank a clean sheet for Walker-Peters at home to Newcastle first. The idea was then to move him straight onto Luca Digne with my free transfer for Game Week 4. This move avoided Luca Digne clashing with John McGinn in my squad, and when Everton lost to Villa it looked to be a decent call. Unfortunately though, this made the Spurs result even more disappointing, because Tottenham did concede and it was therefore a small gamble that didn't pay off. So in total, that's now a hat-trick of disappointing game weeks for me so far this season, with another underwhelming 47 points for Game Week 3. It was, however, a small green arrow, so that's something, and it's given me a rise of about 200,000 places to 2.1 million. It's definitely been a rough season for me so far, but in FPL every season is different, and it should be fun to try and chase the pack this year. So let's put another poor week behind me and move on now to Game Week 4. As mentioned, last week I tried to be clever and bank 1 clean sheet for Walker-Peters before moving him straight on to Luca Digne for Game Week 4. This means I currently have 1.2 million left in the bank, and I can still make this exact transfer this week, so that's one move I'm considering. However, after a very poor showing from the wildcard squad, and with Mo Salah instantly punishing, I have to admit it's very tempting to use this extra cash to simply move Sadio Mane back up to Salah. With no transfers made yet though, here's how my squad currently lines up for Game Week 4. Regardless of my transfers, it'll be a 3-5-2 this week, with Lundstram getting benched away to Chelsea and budget midfield option Cantwell coming in against West Ham. If I don't make the transfer of Walker-Peters to Luca Digne this week, then I'll be fielding Martin Kelly instead at home to Villa, which albeit isn't ideal, but it's not the worst option to have. Crystal Palace have only conceded 2 goals in the opening 3 games so far, and with a home fixture against Villa next, perhaps there is scope for me to hold a transfer this week, and then head into the international break with 2 free transfers at my disposal. As for the captaincy, the armband will likely fall to Raheem Sterling for Game Week 4, and that's pretty much locked in already. So that's how my team currently lines up for Game Week 4, and I'll post any updates over on the FPL TV Twitter page. Before wrapping up this video, let's now take a look at the current standings of the FPL TV Cup for August. With just 1 game week left to go for the August Cup, it's Marlon Moore that finds himself in first place by a clear 30 points, making him firm favourite to secure the inaugural FPL TV trophy and a range of FPL prizes. His total of 241 points to begin the season currently ranks him as 125th worldwide, a superb effort. Shaquille Ahmed and Cam Taylor make up the top 3, and both boast excellent starts to the season as well. Nice going, lads. It's still all to play for in Game Week 4 though, so all the best to everyone that entered the August Cup. The league code for the September Cup will get posted over on the FPL TV Patreon page very soon, and the scores will all start from 0 each month. So if you want to compete and win some FPL TV prizes, then be sure to click the link in the description box below. That's all from me for now. Good luck to all of you watching for Game Week 4, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all very soon.